What's up guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to go over how I glue my tires, and these particularly are short course tires, and they're the hardest ones for me because they have the wider in the back and the smaller in the front diameter, and it makes it more challenging because there's like two beads. There's an inner and an outer bead, as you can see here. On an 8 scale wheel and tire, it's usually just flat and it's so much easier to glue. These are one of the most challenging. So I want to go over which tires I'm gluing today. These are VP Pro from Dialed RC, and the Striker Evo, and also the grips. Here's a side by side of what they look like. Striker Evo and the grips on this side. Let me start with cleaning materials. I use Simple Green. That is pretty much 100% not diluted at all, and this is denatured alcohol. Definitely got to have tire bands, a hole punch, and this is optional, but it really does help. This is a VP Pro tire balancer for 10 scale. They also have one to fit an 8 scale, and then they have balancing clay right here. Electrical tape, I'll show you why in a second. And then you gotta find yourself some of your favorite glue. You need applicators for this. It goes on the tip or the nozzle of the glue. But yeah, these little nozzles, you just slide them on and it makes it a lot easier to apply the glue in the bead. These I don't like as much because they don't bend at all. They have no flex, and I feel like sometimes a little give is better. The hole punch I have here today is the AKA brand one, and as you can see I have it on the 3 setting. I prefer this 3. It's not too big, not too small, and usually I just put 2 holes in these. The wheels are starting to come with holes. I don't like that because down here we race outdoors and we usually rinse our tires with at least Simple Green and some water. And what I do is I put a little electrical tape and I cover the holes. Alright guys, so here's the cleaning process. I start with the tire, and I have one towel for the Simple Green and another towel for the denatured alcohol. And I just get a spot here and I clean the inner bead first. You can do it however you feel comfortable, and make sure you get enough on there. It's good to get this little edge right here. I know it's time consuming, but it really does help keep the tire clean. And then I find a dry spot. That side's clean. And then clean this side. Usually make 2 passes, and then I try to get that inner bead again. Just like that. Get a dry spot. Now once that's dry, usually I have my hole punch right here, and I'll line up my 2 holes. So there's the green dot, and I'm going to line that up. Put it on the shorter side here so you can get the hole punch in nicely. Get it right in between the center of the beads. Like that. Make sure you pop this out, don't leave it in there. And then I'm just going to go across right above the P here. Flip it around. And we'll get that going right about there, right in the center. And there we go. So that's the tire prepped. Now I could grab my denatured one, or you could do all the tires first and all the wheels first, which is what I usually do. But just for showing you guys, I'm going to show you how I clean the wheel, and we'll get to the gluing. I get in there and I make sure I get the outer, this bead here, outer or inner bead, I'm not sure what that would be, I guess the outer, and then this flat bead, nice and clean with denatured alcohol. And I spray it again. Sometimes I do this just to make sure it gets in there like that, and then I wipe it really good. And once those are all done, I would just put them aside, make sure they dry properly. So I have 2 tires here set up. This one is already cleaned, holes already punched. This one's ready to glue on the back side. And this is how I would assemble them. We'll do the front side on this example here. So you just slide them in, and when you slide them in, try not to disturb the blue foam because there's a lot of dust on it. See, it just slides right into the bead here on the front and then go around to the back. And this is where I don't use a glove on this side because I'm usually peeling it up with my thumb like that. And if you don't have enough grip, it just slides out of your fingers. So there you go. You can see that's pretty good. And what I do is the side I'm gluing, for example this side, when I line this bead up, I pinch it in like that so that it's a nice tight bond right here before gluing. On this example, I'm going to do this outer side. So what I'll do is just double check it's in the bead. These fit so nicely in there. There's no rough edges where you have to like shove it in there or anything, which makes it a lot easier to glue. I usually place my band right there, not too close to the edge because it can just fling back forward and come off. So I'll get it to this point and then I'll do that little squeeze in, and there we go. So these two are ready to glue. I'm going to show you guys with this glue here. I get my scissors and I usually put a little angle like that. Slide that on there. Make sure you have paper towels ready. See it, the glue coming out. It's a good amount. So this way you can see where the glue is at. When you let go, it usually goes back in, but it's perfect. It's ready to go. Just have that paper towel handy if you somehow spill some of this. Hopefully I do this good, guys. It's not easy to do on camera because you might not see everything, but what I do is I get the glue flowing and I get the inner bead, and I see I started right there at that 503 section, and I lay that in and I just move along, make sure I get in deep there where I was, and move along and put some more in deep, probably doubling up, which is fine. It's got plenty of places to go, and just keep working your way all the way around. And this is where why I don't use that glove, because I need all the grip over here. Make sure it lays into the bead. I'm almost to the 503. Notice, see, it's already hard to take out, so I peel that up. It's kind of hard, but I peel it up. Make sure I get in there with the glue. Then once this is laid in there, I do a quick round. You have a little bit of time to work with it. And this is it. This is how messy it gets, guys. You can make a mistake, but you can see right now this sucker is in there perfectly, or almost perfect. And what I do is, see, when you go around, there's those little lips, and that's that second bead. We definitely got enough glue on the inner, but as you can see, as I'm peeling up, you see the little holes right there. And I just fill. And don't be shy, guys. It doesn't matter. When this dries, it's going to lay flat. And even though I'm using a little more than extra here, I'm going to be sure. See right there, I just almost caught my thumb. Have that paper towel ready. And see, I'm getting it all in wherever there's a hole or a crack. Once that dries later, it's going to be like this where it doesn't come apart. But this extra is just insurance there. Then after that, I actually go around, and I'm kind of rushing this, guys. I'm doing this kind of quick, kind of realistic. You know, I'm not sitting here trying to make it perfect. This is just going to get banged around on the track and get dirty immediately on that very first pull of the trigger. And I just give it one more snug, and I put that aside. That one's ready to go. And once that side's done, I would grab it and move the band over to this side and repeat the process. This side's a little easier. Hopefully it goes easy because you got a little less to grab here, and it's right alongside the wheel. So here we go with the larger diameter side. There's no marking, so I'm not sure where I start, but I'm just gonna, you'll know, because see right here I'm having a little bit of an issue, but I got it in the bead. Just gonna move like an inch at a time here, inch and a half. A lot of glue went in right there, and you have a little time to work with this. Not a lot of time, you have a little bit, but just make sure you don't have a big gap and then just keep going. You make sure, like what I just did there, to make sure that it's in the bead properly. like that. And eventually when I try to peel this, it's not going to peel because it's already sticking where I started. I'm getting close. Keep working. A lot of glue on that pass. Oh boy. You have a little time to work with it. But I think, yeah, I'm there. So there, that's where I started. I'm just going to shove the glue in there where I can. Make sure there's plenty. And now I'm just going to make sure it's all seated. It's looking really good. So this side's usually easier than that side. And honestly, guys, I don't care how pretty it looks. It's going to get destroyed anyway. And this next bead I put is just going to, see that gap right there? There. Yeah, just try to catch all those little gaps. The more true the tire is, the better it spins on the track. Less vibrations through the whole car and the drivetrain. So that's it. I basically do this last bead like I did on the other side. See, like that, I don't care. It's just a tire. As far as pretty, it's not for show. This is for racing. And yeah, that's a pretty good amount. I'm just going to trace. I'm not squeezing the bottle now. I did on the first pass. But now I'm just spreading it out. And it's done. Now, when I show you after this is dried, how flat that's going to look. You might get a little bit of this white dust residue, but that's pretty much it. Alright, here we go, guys. All the tires are pretty much glued on the front side, except for this one where I did on the back side. And I went ahead and balanced this just to show you guys what it looks like when a tire is balanced. You see I have the clay right there, that gray or white looking piece inside there. And it was stuck on the light side of the wheel. And it counterbalanced. So basically you want to spin it, and when it wants to stop, it should stop right where it stops. It shouldn't roll back, because wherever it rolls back to is a heavy side. So let me pop this one off and put one on. I'll show you an example of balancing this one, even though it's not glued on this side. It's pretty much dry, but just as an example, we'll try it out. Alright guys, I've got the other tire on here. We're not gonna call this balance until I actually glue it, but just to show you how I do it, I'm going to spin it lightly like that, and you see the wheel wanting to bounce back to a certain heavy point. Basically, we know right now this is the heavy side of the tire at the bottom, and we're going to put a piece of clay up at the top. I'm just going to grab a little chunk like that. The more you do this, the more you get used to how much to put on there, and just going to put it pretty much where the top was. Trying to do this one-handed and film. So there it is up there, and let's just test it. No need to make it look pretty right now. Oop, there's a little piece of clay right here. So it's already not wanting to go back as bad as it was. As you can see, it's getting close to balance with just one little bit of clay. It's actually wanting to come back down where the clay is now, which kind of tells me that I might have just put just a hair too much clay on, and all it takes is, see, a couple spins like that, and it's wanting to turn to where the clay is, coming from that way. This way looks okay, but yeah, it wants to come back just a little. We'll do it one more time. It's very close, guys. You can see it's very close. I am just gonna take a little bit, and I usually use a little screwdriver here, and just take, I'm talking a little bit, very little that I took. So we'll spin it again. And there, that one, this specific, when I grabbed that amount of clay, see, it just stops on its own. You know it's balanced when you spin it like that. When I zoom in there, the clay is at the top, and it stayed up there, and the wheel didn't want to roll back or anything. So that's an example of balancing a wheel. So right now I'm just going to push this clay flat. Make sure it clears the factory mold there where the fins are. It's hard, I know they're hard to see. But I'll zoom in on those fins, and you want to make sure the clay doesn't go above that, because sometimes your wheel hubs and stuff hit that when they get when the wheel hits the wall or something on the track. Alright guys, thanks for joining me. I know this was a long video. Thanks for sticking with me. This is pretty much close to dry. See that thick bead there? It's gonna crack and all that. It doesn't matter to me. That's just extra insurance. Here's the bottom end, looking really good. Look how flat it is. It looks like there's a lot of glue all over it, but you know what? Look, it's basically flat on the wheel and on the tire. So there we go, guys. I just gotta wait till the rest of these dry up. I'm gonna flip them over, finish it up. Helps to have a fan blowing on them to make them dry a little bit quicker, and just showed you how valuable these tire balancers can be. So thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell. I'll keep posting videos if you guys keep on subbing and liking. And yeah, it really inspires me to keep on making videos, guys. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and be safe. Keep on driving.